Who's the greatest bodybuilder of all time? Most people should say Arnold, but perhaps there is someone else. Let's rewind to a time when bodybuilding was not about fame, but about the art. Meet Steve Reeves, the unsung hero of bodybuilding, who may have been even better than Arnold. In this video, we're going to tell the story about Steve Reeves, who set the stage for greatness and changed the world of bodybuilding forever. Steve Reeves was born in 1926 in a small town in Montana. He didn't have an easy start in life. When he was just 1 year old, his father died in a farming accident. Steve never had the chance to know his father. With no other choice, his mother had to raise him on her own. When Steve was 10 years old, he and his mother moved to California in search of a better life. California was a new beginning for Steve. He started going to a new school where he found his first love, not in a person, but in a sport, bodybuilding. Steve was in high school when he first got interested in bodybuilding. He saw some older boys lifting weights, and he thought they looked strong and healthy. He wanted to be like them. At 15, Steve decided to start training seriously. He joined a gym and began lifting weights. At first, he didn't know much about it, but he learned from watching others and asking for advice. He also read books and magazines about bodybuilding to learn more about how to train effectively. Steve was dedicated and worked hard in the gym. He wanted to build his muscles and become strong. Steve Reeves stood out from the crowd even as a teenager. By the age of 16, he already had a muscular body that drew attention. It wasn't just the result of his hard work in the gym, although he did train a lot. Steve was blessed with something special: incredible genetics. Steve's amazing genetics played a big role in shaping his impressive physique. Some people work out for years and never get the kind of body Steve had at just 16. Despite his dedication to training, it was evident that he had a natural gift for bodybuilding. His body responded quickly to workouts, and he gained muscle fast. His muscle shape and balance were already remarkable, revealing his potential to be a top bodybuilder. At 17, Steve's potential was even more visible. His physique was well-balanced and aesthetically pleasing. He had the kind of body that many older bodybuilders could only dream of. Photos from that time show a young man with a physique that was clearly the result of exceptional genetics. Steve looked like he was born to be a bodybuilder. His incredible natural talent and potential were obvious to anyone who saw him. Steve Reeves' bodybuilding journey was on the rise. At only 18 years old, he had an impressive physique and was starting to make a name for himself in the bodybuilding community. However, everything changed in 1944. The world was in the middle of World War II, and like many young men of his age, Steve was drafted into the United States Army as soon as he graduated high school. Stevie had to leave behind his bodybuilding dreams and head to military training in California. It wasn't long before he was sent to fight in the Philippines, where he faced harsh conditions and brutal battles. Steve had to adapt quickly to the realities of war, witnessing horrors that would stay with him for the rest of his life. The physical and emotional toll was enormous. As if that wasn't enough, Steve's health also took a hit. During his time in the Philippines, he contracted malaria, a deadly mosquito-borne disease. On top of that, he got jungle fever, which made his situation even worse. Steve spent weeks in the hospital struggling to recover from these illnesses. While he was in the hospital, the war ended, but his military service wasn't over yet. Steve was then sent to Japan as part of the Allied occupation force. He stayed there until September 1946, when he was finally discharged after 26 long months of service. Steve returned to California, physically and mentally exhausted from his time in the military. He had experienced things that most people could never imagine, but Steve was determined to pick up where he left off with his bodybuilding. It wasn't easy. The war had interrupted his training, and he had lost valuable time. The illnesses he had suffered had also weakened his body. But Steve was motivated to get back into shape. He resumed his training, pushing himself harder than ever. He wanted to rebuild his physique and prove that he still had what it took to be a great bodybuilder. Steve Reeves wasted no time getting back into bodybuilding. Despite the challenges he had faced during the war, including health issues and a long break from training, Steve was determined to make up for lost time. Within a few months, he had rebuilt his impressive physique and was ready to compete. His first competition after returning was the Mr. Pacific Coast contest in Portland, Oregon. in December 1946. Steve's hard work and dedication paid off, and he won the contest, proving that he was back and better than ever. It was a strong start to his bodybuilding career, and he quickly became a favorite among fans. In June 1947, Steve entered the prestigious Mr. America contest in Chicago. At only 21 years old, he faced tough competition from older and more experienced bodybuilders. But Steve's symmetrical and well-balanced physique impressed the judges, and he won the title of Mr. America. It was a significant achievement and a testament to his natural talent and hard work. The victory also made him a household name in the bodybuilding community. After winning Mr. America, Steve continued to compete and achieved remarkable success. In 1948, he came close to winning the Mr. USA competition, finishing in second place behind Clarence Ross. He also placed second in the Mr. Universe competition, narrowly losing to the great John Grimek. However, Steve didn't let these near misses discourage him. He entered the Mr. World competition held in France the same year and emerged victorious. He was now Mr. America and Mr. World, an impressive accomplishment for a young bodybuilder. Steve's winning streak continued in 1950 when he competed in the Mr. Universe contest again. This time he left no room for doubt and won the title, leaving second place to Reg Park. Steve Reeves had an impressive physique that stood out even among other bodybuilders. At his peak, he was tall and had a muscular body that was well proportioned and symmetrical. Let's take a closer look at his physical attributes. Steve was a tall man, standing at 6 feet 1 inch or 185 centimeters. He weighed around 216 pounds or 98 kilograms, and his muscles were well defined and prominent. Steve's body was a perfect example of classic bodybuilding, and he had become a true champion. One of the most impressive things about Steve's body was his measurements. His biceps, calves, and neck each measured over 18 inches, which is remarkable. His chest was broad and muscular, measuring 52 inches. His waist was slim at 29 inches, which gave him a classic V-shaped torso. His thighs were strong and powerful, measuring 26 inches. Steve's body was not only muscular but also well-balanced and symmetrical. He looked like a Greek statue, with every muscle in perfect proportion. His physique was admired by many, and he became an icon in the bodybuilding community. After achieving great success in the world of bodybuilding, Steve Reeves decided to try something new. He wanted to become an actor. With his good looks and powerful physique, Steve was a natural fit for the big screen. So he made the switch from bodybuilding to acting. In 1957, Steve got his big break. He was chosen to play the role of Hercules in the movie Hercules. Steve's muscular body and strong presence made him the perfect actor for the part. The movie was a huge success, and Steve became an international movie star almost overnight. People all over the world watched him on the big screen, and he was admired for his talent and his looks. After the success of Hercules, Steve went on to star in many other movies. He became one of the most popular and highest-paid actors of his time. Steve was making more money than most other actors in Hollywood. He was a big name in the movie industry, and everyone wanted to work with him. Steve's success in Hollywood was not only good for him, but also for other bodybuilders. He paved the way for other bodybuilders to become actors. One of the most famous bodybuilders turned actors is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold has said that Steve was an inspiration to him. Because of Steve, Arnold believed that he could also become a successful actor, and he did. Steve's transition from bodybuilding to acting was a bold move, but it paid off. He became a Hollywood superstar and left a lasting impact on the movie industry. He also left a legacy for other bodybuilders who wanted to become actors. Steve proved that it was possible to be successful in both worlds, and he will always be remembered for that. After Steve Reeves had a successful career in both bodybuilding and acting, he decided to retire from the spotlight. He had made enough money to live comfortably for the rest of his life. So he bought a large ranch in Oregon, where he could relax and enjoy the peace and quiet. Later, he bought another ranch in California, where he lived until he passed away. Even though he retired from acting and bodybuilding, Steve didn't stop caring about health and fitness. He continued to promote a healthy lifestyle, and he was a big supporter of natural bodybuilding. He didn't like how some bodybuilders used chemicals to get bigger muscles. Steve believed that it was better to build muscle naturally through hard work and a healthy diet. Steve also wrote several books to share his knowledge about health and fitness. One of his books was called Power Walking. In this book, Steve talked about a special way of walking that he invented. He called it power walking. This type of walking is done quickly with long strides while swinging weights in your hands. Steve said that power walking is a great way to get in shape, burn fat, and build muscle. He also said that it's a safe exercise because it doesn't hurt your joints like jogging can. Steve wrote 2 other books about bodybuilding. These books were called Building the Classic Physique, The Natural Way, and Dynamic Muscle Building. In these books, Steve shared his secrets for building a strong and muscular body without using chemicals. He also gave advice on how to pose, lose fat, and eat well. Steve's focus on health and fitness didn't stop with his books. He also gave interviews and spoke at events to share his knowledge and inspire others to live a healthy life. Steve believed that being healthy was important, and he wanted to help others be healthy too. Even though Steve Reeves is no longer with us, his legacy lives on. He is remembered as a great bodybuilder, actor, and health advocate. He inspired many people to live a healthy life and to achieve their goals, and he will always be remembered for that. So, there you have it, the story of Steve Reeves, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. From his humble beginnings in Montana to becoming Mr. America and a successful Hollywood actor, Steve's journey was truly remarkable. He showed that with hard work, dedication, and a passion for health and fitness, anyone can achieve great things. He actually left the blueprint for future bodybuilders like Arnold, who followed in his footsteps. Arnold became a bodybuilding champion and moved to acting afterwards. One could argue that if it wasn't for Steve, Arnold would have never been so famous. For us, it's quite clear that Steve is the greatest bodybuilder of all time. What do you think? Please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, make sure to subscribe to our channel, Legendary Bodybuilders. We create videos about legendary bodybuilders forgotten in time. Before you leave, make sure you watch our video on Mike Mentzer, the only bodybuilder that received a perfect score of 300 in Mr. Universe. Thanks for watching, and until next time.